When are you coming home, Mr. Shiftlet? When are you coming home? You left your wife, deaf, and helpless. Yet you seemed surprised as you drove away that you were more depressed and miserable than ever. You say, Mr. Shiftlet, that the human heart, that man is composed of two parts, the body and the spirit. The body, you say, is like a house. It don't go nowhere. The spirit is like an automobile, always on the move, always desiring freedom. Yet you have put one above the other. You desire freedom above all else, above everything. Yet when you have it, you feel empty. You can hardly bear it. Oh, Mr. Shiftlet, there is something in you, clearly. Something in your heart which desires to give itself. And that is the seed of hospitality planted by your mothers. When you left your mother, you built yourself. You tried to build yourself. Tom T. Shiftlet, Aaron Sparks, George Speeds, Thompson Bright. You learned and imitated the greatest self-creators there ever were. Hume, Nietzsche, Kant. But they were broken men with broken ideas. And you are a broken man, Tom. Two parts, separated, splintered, opposed where they should have been left whole. I see the ideas of Kant permeating your principle of absolute freedom. He professed, as you probably know, that man is a purely rational being, and thereby we are confined, we're trapped in our mortal bodies. He valued the spirit above all else, and so concluded that we can and we must govern ourselves by our moral intellects, by our moral intelligence. You've taken this and ran with it. You've taken this to mean self-determination. You are your own legislator, and so you choose to do whatever your driving spirit tells you to do, whatever suits your driving spirit. When you are dissatisfied with the laws of this world, you make your own laws. But there's an inconsistency there. Because you left one hitchhiker, you felt a burden. And you were dumped by another you picked up out of loneliness, though you called it your duty. Where is the duty in leaving one's wife and picking up a stranger? You have lost the essential universality of Kantian responsibility, of Kantian logic, because you are not acting purely from your reason, for indeed, you're not a purely rational being. You care about people. Even if you have failed sometimes to act upon that compassion, you know what is right, but you pick and choose between the sparks and the speeds and the bright. You pick and choose between the sparks, the speeds, and the bright, seeking a freedom, a pleasure, which is not of this world. You see the brokenness of this world, but you're not going to find that freedom or that pleasure in Mobile. Mr. Shiftlet, I thought you didn't want the trash you can just pick up. Indeed, you didn't pick up the car you are now driving to Mobile. And you can't pick up a wife. You can't just pick up a wife. No. It was the radical hospitality of your new mother that gave you those things. She gave you her food, her water, her home, her car, even her beloved daughter. Because she saw something in you. She saw the man in you, buried under shame and moral intelligence. And you stopped long enough to care. You stopped long enough to teach her daughter how to say the word bird. You stopped long enough to care, and you gave her joy. So when are you going to admit that you are a good man and start being one? Mr. Shiftlet, it is God's prerogative whether he cleanse the slime from this earth. But it is yours whether you allow him to wash your soul whiter than snow. Mr. Shiftlet, you once said that the one thing that you regretted more than anything was leaving your poor old mother. So please, for the sake of your weary soul, do not leave your new mother. Do not leave the mother that God has given to you. And the life you save may be your own. Come home, Mr. Shiftlet. Come home.